You span the bottle, then prayed for it to land on someone hot. The odds were in your favour, as the majority of your class looked like they had been pulled from a modelling magazine, but there were still those odd few who you would rather skip than kiss. Your eyes wandered to Mineta instinctively. He licked his lips and you shuddered. But when the bottle came to a stop, it was pointing at Koda. Your heart clenched. Koda was not attractive in the traditional sense, but there was definitely something about him that caught your attention, particularly when he was caring for animals or being his usual kind-hearted self. It was an appeal that went unnoticed by most, perhaps due to his quiet nature, but one that you were fully charmed by. But you knew he wasn't playing spin the bottle willingly. Ashido had bullied 3 people into playing. Koda was one of them. You got to your feet, nevertheless, thinking the more painless and quick you could make this for him, the better, but were surprised when he shot to his feet like a bullet. There was a determined look on his face. He caught your gaze and held it, despite the way his skin turned from peach to pink. A shy tingle ran through you. Did he want to do this? When you met in the middle, the thought of him wanting to kiss you, the shy guy that he was, turned your cheeks red. You tried to hold his gaze but couldn't, alternating between staring at his feet and his chest. Perhaps you had got it wrong. Perhaps he had shot up after seeing a bug. He was clenching his fists as if to steel himself. You found yourself too nervous to look up. But the sound of his voice was enough to break you from your nerves. Who this? You finally looked at him, wondering what he had said. It startled him. He twitched and fidgeted, but the longer you stared at him with a blush on your face, the more he managed to calm down. Do you want to do this? The words sank in. He was asking you? The fact he had spoken out loud instead of signing could only mean your answer meant a lot to him. You nodded vigorously, inching towards him with your shy gaze burning holes into the floor. I do. The room erupted with cheers. Both you and Koda turned a dozen shades darker, but you smiled nonetheless. Then Koda rested his shaking hands on your shoulders. You touched your fingers to his knuckles to tell him it was all right. Then you looked at him and held his gaze, then closed your eyes and waited. When his lips melded with yours, a happy whimper bubbled in the back of your throat, but it fell deaf under the ear-splittingly loud whoops and cheers of your classmates. Koda held you in place, his hands keeping you steady while he stayed too shy to go further in the kiss in case he overstepped your boundaries. It was a sweet kiss, and one that lasted for as long as you could hope for. Then when he broke away, you chased after him, planting a peck on his lips to say goodbye. He stammered, and his hands clenched on your shoulders, but he smiled all the same. You looked at one another, both too shy to say anything, but a wordless promise hung in the air. You both returned to your seats, then Ashido excused you to give the others a fair shot. You pulled yourself onto one of the couches, ready to watch the events unfold, but Koda signed for you to follow him as he stood up. He headed for the stairs. You went after him, feeling curious. He was waiting for you on the second floor, his hands clasped behind his back. When he saw you, a giddy smile stretched across his face, but was quickly eclipsed by another blush. "Koda," you said in greeting, feeling his nerves infecting you. Is everything okay?" He clenched his hands, but when you were close enough, he opened one and held it out for you. Would you like to come see Uai-chan? His bunny. Your heart clenched again. What a sweet thing to ask, and so like Koda. Some guys might ask you up to their rooms for fun, but not Koda. He was gentle and kind, and you found yourself slipping your hand into his before the words had even escaped your mouth. I'd love to,